I think that nobody would choose a life of hell. You know, we all want to be happy. And I think that it's just to validate the fighting spirit that's in people. It's not the weakness. It's to turn that weakness into a strength.
I'd encourage them to have a conversation with somebody who is struggling, to get to know somebody. You know, my family is amazing. They're intelligent, creative, caring, compassionate people. All of them have different strengths. And I think of people not getting to know someone like my family members, and because of their mental health issues or their addictions, and I think, what a loss.
I would tell people that addictions don't discriminate. Everybody has this image in their head that alcoholics and drug addicts are these low-life, unemployed people. There's lawyers, there's doctors, there's police officers, there's nurses, there's teachers. Everybody from all walks of life are struggling with addictions. Some hide them better than others, but there's people from every walk of life that are struggling.
Sometimes it's not in their control, and that it's not something you can just shut off, or, you know, it's like, it is an illness. You have to take it as an illness, and to this day, some people still don't take it as an illness until it happens to them. But yeah, as an outsider, they look in and they think, oh, I've been stressed out before. You know, you just kind of work through your stress, and it's not that easy.
Really, you should think of this in terms of mental well-being, okay? So to be free of mental illness is a lot of things. So well-being is your whole life. It's having friends, it's you know, doing the exercise, eating right, it's all those things. And so being unwell means that, you know, you have to get things back in balance. So I think it's, mental illness it's not a permanent thing, it's a temporary thing, and you can get better. You can work towards that.
One of the things that I hear all the time is, I didn't know other people dealt with that, or I thought I was the only one. So my thing I want people to know about mental illness is, you're not the only one, and you're not alone. You know, when you think of the entire human spectrum, to think that you're the only person to ever deal with this, you know, there's a 99.9% that you're not. And I think just when we're willing to talk about it the way that we're doing here, or the way that people are doing online, is when people finally see, oh, it's okay to talk about it, but also I'm not the only one that has this issue.
If I could tell people with mental illness one thing, it would be that it gets better. It doesn't get better tomorrow or all at once, but eventually a day will come that doesn't hurt as much as today does. You need to know that you should never be tricked into the lie that is despair. Never be tricked into believing that. Despair is useless. You can rise above that. I've done it. And I'll be right by your side as you do it too. We all will.
I think there's still so little just general knowledge. You know, we break a bone or we get physically hurt and we know how to deal with that. We know how to deal with someone who has that happen. Mental health, we're all like, ooh, that's not me. But mental health is your day-to-day, right? It's how you're doing. It's a constant ebb and flow. Maybe you're stressed, maybe you didn't get enough sleep, maybe your 6-month-old was up 4 times last night, and so you're having a rough day. That's all part of your mental health. And I think you know, we all say we gotta be brave, we gotta be tough. I think the bravest thing you can do is to admit that you're struggling and to say you need help, because that's scary. That takes a lot of courage.
It's not gonna happen overnight. I mean, you can change overnight. that it's going to be a process, that you're not going to see things in the first 3 months, not to get frustrated, that it's going to take a little time to be patient and keep on chasing those goals and dreams, because they'll come true. You just got to stick with the plan.
I would tell someone that didn't understand mental illness that it's not a choice. It really is an illness, and no one wakes up in the morning and wants to struggle and to feel all of these bad thoughts and feelings, and it really can take over a person's life. It's very serious. I would tell someone struggling with a mental illness that that illness or addiction doesn't define who you are. You are so much more than that, and you are worth so much more than that. And don't ever let an illness or an addiction or any kind of diagnosis hold you back, because you're capable of anything. And there's so many supports and people that can be there for you. And with that, you can do anything.
If I had to choose one thing, it would be the perspective of somebody with an illness being reluctant to seek help because they don't want to be stigmatized. And I think the one thing I want people to realize is that, A, it's an illness. It's no different. It's a physical thing. It's no different than a broken arm. You go seek help. If there's a chemical imbalance in your brain, you should be seeking help. Don't suffer alone, because you're not alone. There are a lot of people living with this, and there are a lot of supports for people that are diagnosed with an illness. So it would be simply, you don't have to suffer alone.
I never thought that I'd be sober. I thought I was just always going to feel that way. I didn't know you could learn to accept what happened to you, forgive yourself, and let it go. Don't carry that on you, because you don't have to. But you can do it. You can do anything you want to if you really want it. And you've got to have faith. Not only faith in yourself, but in a higher power. If you're not religious, anything can be your higher power. The love of your family, your children, something that you live for.
We always tell newcomers when they come to an Al-Anon meeting, keep coming back. Keep coming back until the miracle happens. Because it is a miracle. Your life will, if you follow the program of Alcoholics Anonymous, which we do the 12 steps, the same 12 steps as they do, that your life will change.
There's no such thing as a lost cause. There's no such thing as being far gone, hopeless. That's just a stigma attached to it. I don't believe in that anymore, because I was that, like, suffering from psychosis in and out of the RUH. But, there's no such thing as a lost cause. There's hope for anybody and everybody. If you want it, it's there. You just have to want it, and you have to you have to make that step on your own to move forward.
It's not like in the movies, and no one wants to become addicted, right? No one wakes up one day and says that I don't want to be loved or feel loved, right? And so for me, my addiction, I had lost contact with not only my feelings, but I had lost contact with my family. I had lost contact with employment. I had lost contact with my creator, and so I didn't know how to connect. I didn't know how to connect with myself. And so what recovery is to me is reconnecting with myself, reconnecting with my feelings, reconnecting with my creator, and reconnecting with the billions of people in this world, right? I'm not alone. I have great support. And so, but I'm here because people care and people came to support. So it's good to have boundaries, but people need to know that you care as well.
Walk away from the diagnosis and take a look at the person. So step back from identifying an individual as a diagnosis, right? This person's not a schizophrenic or a drug addict or an alcoholic or bipolar disorder. This person's this person. And they may be Canadian, they may be American, they may be white, they may be black, they may be male or female. All of those things contribute to who they are, as does their illness, as does their recovery. It's just who they are. Get to know the person and stand back from the diagnosis.